Pemirsa, PT VKTR Teknologi Mobilitas Tbk meyakini prospek cerah masa depan industri kendaraan listrik di Indonesia. Selain itu, peran Kadin Indonesia yang kini dipimpin oleh Ketua Umum Anindya Novian Bakri akan semakin memperkuat daya tarik investor untuk berbisnis di Indonesia. Dan berikut kami hadirkan wawancara Vena Kintan bersama Komisaris PT VKTR Teknologi Mobilitas Tbk, Safras Amir Ahmad.
Halo pemirsa, bersama saya Vena Kintan, kita akan membahas mengenai masa depan elektrifikasi yang tengah menghadapi tantangan ketidakpastian perekonomian global. Tentu dengan tantangan yang ada, optimisme harus tetap ada. Lalu bagaimana kemudian PT Vektor ini bisa menghadapi tantangan ini dan apa yang kemudian menjadi pendapat dari Komisaris PT Vektor, Lord Safras Amir Ahmad, tentang sosok Anindya Bakri yang merupakan Ketua Kamar Dagang dan Industri Indonesia atau Kadin Indonesia. Kita akan membahasnya langsung bersama dengan Komisaris dari PT Vektor Teknologi Mobilitas Tbk, ada Lord Safras Amir Ahmad. Thank you for your time. We really appreciate having you here.
Thank you.
And welcome to Indonesia.
Thank you very much. Delighted to be here.
Lord Safras, you joined Vektor in 2022. So how did your career journey lead you to join Vektor?
Well, there's not a single investor anywhere in the world or entrepreneur who's not thinking about the opportunities of Indonesia. I mean, what's happened in the last 10 years in Indonesia is incredible. And that's largely thanks to the policies of the outgoing president, who did an incredible job of totally transforming the economy of Indonesia. And now growth is reported at sort of 5.5% year on year. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And you see this massive uplift of people from lower income brackets to middle income, and it's a very, very exciting place to be. And so my appeal to Vektor was that there was a management team led by Mr. Anindya Bakri, who I found to be incredibly inspirational with his vision. And it aligned perfectly with the vision of President Jokowi in terms of electrification and diversification of the economy of Indonesia. And so what they're trying to build and what they've done so far in 2.5 years has been remarkable. And it is an absolute delight to be part of this story.
Okay, then what values do you see from Vektor that maybe can make it shine in the future?
So, you know, it's a difficult industry, right? Electrification is not a short-term project. This is something which you need much longer-term views on. And you've seen that there's countries around the world who are on-off in terms of the priority of electrification of their domestic transportation fleets. And so there'll be an election in the US or the United Kingdom or any other country, and then the foot will go off the pedal in terms of encouraging energy transition. And so for certain parties it's a big theme, and for others it's not. But what we're seeing in Indonesia, it's a constant theme. It doesn't matter that there's a massive change of government right now. The continuity of that policy towards electrification domestically and achieving net zero or a path to net zero remains very, very strong. And so what it does need is a lot of government support. And that's the case anywhere in the world. I mean, you just saw there's a big gigafactory in Europe, Northvolt. It's having difficulties, having to shrink, having to reduce its expansion plans. So when governments are able to support this industry, and there's going to be no future globally unless governments really support in any way they can. Consumers to buy vehicles, battery makers to set up plants, and everyone in between the supply chain. And so what we're seeing in Indonesia is continuity. I think actually Indonesia is being more consistent in its net zero policy than many other countries in the world.
Now we move on to the discussion about Kadin Indonesia or Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. How do you assess the role of Kadin Indonesia for development?
Well, Kadin is very interesting because most chambers of commerce around the world, like other business groups, are sort of on the peripheries, right? But in Indonesia, Kadin has a place in law. and it's a unique organization. And I've witnessed Kadin over the last several years being very active, being very positive, doing all sorts of trade missions around the world, engaging with the right people all over the world. And so in the case of Indonesia, it has a very important role to play because it genuinely is a voice for the private sector, but it has this place in law which other chambers of commerce don't have. So, you know, it's almost another ambassador, minister figure, whoever is leading and running Kadin. Whenever Kadin delegations go to the US, to Europe and UK, they're well received. Everyone wants to engage with them. Not the case for every chamber in the world. So I think it's a very important organization.
And to what extent should Kadin Indonesia be played a role in the Indonesian economy, in your opinion?
I think it's a very important role. I think Kadin will need to continue to broaden its appeal, particularly to sort of younger entrepreneurs, tech entrepreneurs and others who don't really have the time and effort to be part of a business organization. You know, Kadin has to have ways to reach out to them. Kadin also has a critical role to play in getting Indonesian businesses ready to be global facing, right? And so it's not only about capital coming in, it's about these businesses going around the world and performing around the world. And Kadin has a unique place there in order to get them ready for how should you be speaking to investors and partners and customers and clients in the Middle East, in Europe, etc. And so there's a lot of prep work that Kadin can help do for businesses in Indonesia.
As you've already mentioned at the beginning, Kadin Indonesia is currently led by a businessman named Anindya Novian Bakri. What are Anindya's capabilities as a businessman, in your opinion?
Well, I tell you, I've seen up close and personal, firsthand, Anindya Bakri in action globally, promoting Indonesia as a country, promoting businesses and opportunities in Indonesia, and telling the Indonesian story. He's done it relentlessly. He's done it for a long time, and he works long hours when he's out there in the markets. I've seen him myself. He wakes up one day in Germany, the next day he's in Asia, and then the third day he's in the US.
You've seen it yourself?
I've seen it. I tell you, because I'm calling him, speaking to him. Now he's in one country, now the other country. And what is he doing? He's promoting opportunities in Indonesia, not advancing his own interest at all. He is marketing the country. And he does it professionally. He speaks the language of global investors. They respect him. Everyone in the international community I've spoken to so far, since the announcement of Mr. Bakri in this role, is thrilled to have the opportunity to engage with him more because he is a great ambassador for the country. And Kadin has had strong, capable leadership for years. And I've know them, and I work with them. They're wonderful. But now this is a really important time, the next 5 years in Indonesia. And I don't think there's anyone better than Anindya Bakri to take this role.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It was really nice talking to you. Thank you, Lord Sarfraz Amir Ahmad. Dan itu dia pemirsa, tadi wawancara saya bersama dengan Komisaris PT Vektor Teknologi Mobilitas TBK.